This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight it kicks off a weekend series, the I-70 series. Interleague play, we're in Kansas City, and the Royals playing host to the St. Louis Cardinals. That's Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Erica Weston is here as well. The Cardinals are playing very good baseball. Another series win in Miami. The off day yesterday, and we'll see if it carries over to tonight.
Now, the Cardinals have won the last 4 series. They've been doing it with pretty good starting pitching, timely hitting, and a lot of that is going to be Carpenter, and great bullpen work. They have been very special, and they also are playing errorless baseball the last 9 games.
That's the good. Now the bad. Kansas City, they are struggling right now. This is a team that, of course, won a world championship not that long ago, but many of those players have come and gone. So it's a youthful team and just trying to figure out how to get wins.
Yeah, Danny, they're down at .307 win percentage. They're a half game back of Baltimore for the worst record in baseball. They're looking at that. Maybe they'll get the first pick in this year's draft.
Making his case for the MVP, and why not? He's been red hot. Matt Carpenter, the studio takes a look at that when we come back. Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. The I-70 Series in this matchup has had some crazy moments over the years. Last season, the Rally Cat. The 2018 version is just about set to go. First pitch from Kauffman Stadium next. Kansas City. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals. And along with Al Raboski and Erica Weston, I'm Dan McLaughlin. It's a warm 90 degrees, muggy here in the Midwest, the I-70 Series. We talked about it in the open, the youth being served for the Kansas City Royals. The most rookies on any major league roster, Tampa Bay. Then it's Kansas City. Don't overlook the St. Louis Cardinals. 10 rookies currently on their roster, and the Cardinals are in the hunt for a playoff spot. Here's a look at Mike Schilt. Cardinals are 60-55. They've won 4 series in a row after taking 2 of 3 against the Miami Marlins. The interim manager, Mike Schilt of your St. Louis Cardinals. Ned Yost on the other side guided the Royals to back-to-back appearances in the Fall Classic, winning the second time that he was there. And it's really a rebuild right now, Al, with the Royals and where they're at with their organization.
Yeah, really kind of out of necessity. They've had to go to the youngsters, and it really has kind of energized the fan base. You know, they really weren't getting anything done. You let a lot of the free agents go last season, and then now you're going with a rebuild. But the fans are starting to adjust to it because they're seeing what could be in the future.
The Cardinals lineup at the top, the red-hot Matt Carpenter, followed by Yadier Molina. Jose Martinez serving as the designated hitter. Marcelo Zuna, Paul DeYoung, Jed Jerko, Colton Wong, Jairo Munoz, and batting ninth, the center fielder Harrison Bader. Birch Smith, a right-hander, to be his 30th appearance of the year, now in the rotation, and his 6th start overall.
Right-hander who's had a lot of Tommy Johns in the past. He has faced the Cardinals about 5 years ago when the Padre organization. And you'll see he throws an awful lot of fastballs, the curveball, and the changeup. The changeup is something he did not use when he was in relief, but as a starter, he's incorporating a lot, and a lot of it will depend on whether he can throw it down in the zone, whether he has success tonight.
So Birch Smith on the mound for the Kansas City Royals. And Matt Carpenter to lead it off for St. Louis. Make a case he is the hottest hitter right now on the planet. He's been unbelievable, remarkable. He's fourth all-time among major leaguers in interleague games, by the way, in batting average, to add to what could be a very good series. You never know with Matt Carpenter. Kubota power stats and his numbers against the Kansas City Royals, eye-popping.
As if he needs any help, left-handed batters are hitting .324 against Birch.
Carpenter leading the National League in homers with 31.
Say that again.
31 for Carpenter.
New career high, and hit home runs 5 in the last 6 games. Unbelievable, isn't it?
His on-base streak now at 27, which is a career high for Matt Carpenter. A lot of red in the seats, as you can imagine, here in Kansas City. Folks making a weekend of it. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
To be honest, Danny, watching the PGA coverage, I didn't think there's any more fans. I thought they're all out there at Belle Reve. What a job they're doing there.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? There's a strike, and it's 2-1. They'll be out early tomorrow after second group of players that went out in the afternoon. They were washed out, got a few holes in, and have to pick it up early tomorrow morning. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Carpenter with a shift on the right side. Now time is called.
Taking that much time, they're really trying to figure out what to throw Carp.
Foul back, 2-2.
Such a relaxed state that he's in right now. It's nice to see him just has a clear mind in that batter's box and just reacts to the ball. When you're struggling, you're out there fidgeting, thinking about what do I do here, trying to get set up position. None of that is happening right now.
That's pulled foul. The Cardinals, as I mentioned, 5 games above the 500 mark for the first time in a while. Cardinals at 60 and 55. June 27th, the last time that they were 5 above the 500 mark. Third place in the Central. And 3.5 games out in the wild card. Carpenter pops it up left side. It is playable in foul territory, and the catch is made. That's Hunter Dozier at third base. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Bonifacio, Phillips, and Herrera. That trio in the outfield. Dozier, Mondesi, that's Raul Mondesi's son, at short. Merrifield at second base. The former Met, Lucas Duda at first, and Salvador Perez behind the plate. Here's Yadier Molina. 285 with 15 homers. And strike one.
Incredible. Yadi and his endurance. It's his 18th straight, or he's played 18, so this is number 19 straight at 36 years of age, 19 straight games. And it's also number 1,799 of his career.
A ball and a strike. And Molina hit by the pitch. First base runner of the night. And it brings in Jose Martinez. Circle change, and it got away from Birch Smith.
Maybe that's a good sign, because they say when he has his limited success, it's been when he's had that changeup. Maybe he doesn't have it again today.
Jose Martinez hitting .293, 13 homers, driven in 63. The designated hitter tonight. And ball one. You talked about it during the open, Al. It's not just Matt Carpenter, but the offense A little bit of an uptick, movement on the bases, and the bullpen. Bullpen has been revamped, and they are pitching really well.
Outstanding, and it's allowed Mike Schilt to be very aggressive with his moves because he knows he's got guys down there that he can go multiple innings with.
That's a base hit into right field. Stopping at second will be Molina. And it brings in Marcell Ozuna.
Somebody who just loves to play this game, especially against a team that gave up on him. Made him available after winning the AAA batting championship, 384 with Omaha. Next season, he didn't get called up to the big leagues. Next season, he was given basically to the Cardinals, and later that year, he got to the big leagues for the first time.
So one out at runners at first and second for Ozuna. Outfield deep and straight away. Strike one.
Good breaking ball there. He's starting to come alive a little bit after a visit at home.
A lot of singles from Marcell Ozuna. He'd love to change that. A little bit more power. And he lines into a potential double play. Merrifield the catch. And a double play on the line out. A rookie starter in the rotation for the Cardinals. Austin Gomber to the mound when we come back. And Quintana, Cubs winners today over Washington at home at Wrigley. And so Austin Gomber gets the call tonight. The Hyundai pitch arsenal, he's incorporated that cutter, and that's been a very effective pitch for him.
Yeah, it really has. That's when you're coming out of the bullpen, you know, he had trouble with the lefties with that fastball and curveball combinations. He needed something to go east and west, so the cutter or slider is very important to him.
And the lineup for the Royals: Merrifield, Herrera, and Perez, Dozier, Duda, Bonifacio, Phillips, Mondesi, and O'Hearn. With Merrifield batting .360 against left-handed pitchers. 5 of his 7 home runs have been against lefties. Popped up on the infield, and Carpenter with the catch. One away. And behind Austin Gomber, around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, Ozuna, Bader, and Munoz in the outfield. Jerko, DeYoung, Wong, and Carpenter on the infield. Molina behind the plate. Brings in Herrera, a switch hitter, and the right fielder tonight. First pitch, a strike. Royals are 8-11 since the All-Star game. 5-27-4 in series.
And they won the series against the Cardinals in St. Louis 2-1.
Hit out of play and 2 strikes. Royals have their gold lettering on Friday nights. That's what they do at their jerseys, and home night games you'll see the gold numbers, the uniforms of Kansas City. Big swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Gomber with the curveball. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
All right, Danny. Even though he's got that cutter, he's still got to use that curveball a little bit. And he's got a good one. You can throw that good 12-6 and really get it down below the knees where you prefer to have it. 2 of the premier catchers in all of baseball on display tonight.
Salvador Perez has thrown out 18 of 36. And it's 0-2. Perez started the All-Star game last month, 5th consecutive season. Second most starts by a Royal, trailing only Hall of Famer George Brett, who started 9 overall. And my understanding is George will be here tomorrow for sure, maybe here tonight, but they'll celebrate the 1985 championship team here at Kauffman Stadium tomorrow. And the 1-2 lifted in the air to center field. Bader there with the catch, and a 1-2-3 inning. 10 pitches for Austin Gomber. Toyota keys to the game.
Well, Jose Martinez is very important in this lineup right now, and he must hit. He got a base hit the first time up. And the reason I say that is the lefties are going to do their damage. They're batting .324 against Smith, and so you want Martinez to think about, have them think about him and not the other hitters. And then you got to hunt fastballs against Bert Smith. He throws 64% fastballs, and the people are hitting .380 against it.
Here's Paul DeYoung, coming off a good series in Miami. 1 ball and 1 strike. Smith in the first had 13 pitches, 8 of which were strikes. Birch, Smith, the 1-1. Out of play. Cardinals shortstop had a key home run in Game 2 of the series against Miami. Overall, 4 for 12, pair of doubles, homer, and drove in 4. And Young sends this one out to deep left center. 1-0 Cardinals.
Danny, you break your hand, it takes a while to come back. Obviously, you want instant success, but you can see now he's played enough time, plate appearances are adding up now, and now he's starting to get into that groove. We're starting to see that awesome power that he has. That's a good sign for the rest of the season.
Home run number 11 for the Cardinals shortstop, and he's driven in 32.
Yeah, Miami, he hit a breaking ball for a home run. That's what he got this time too. Weight back, quick swing there, and just has great power. We saw him hit 25 home runs in the big league last year after he hit 13 in the minor leagues, and that's his 11th again this year, and being out extended period of time with a broken hand.
2-1 the count on Jed Jerko.
More playing time for Jerko, and it's still hitting when that men on base, but not when they aren't.
See if he gets a fastball here and can do some damage. 3 balls and 1 strike. Up and in. MLB.TV now available at a lower price, $49.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live, plus get a free subscription to MLB at Bat Premium. Blackout and the restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer. Now Colton Wong with a runner at first base.
Watching Colton Wong in batting practice today, and one of the reasons why he's having a little bit of trouble offensively, and he's getting better, is you watch the front leg, how high he brings it up. In batting practice, he can barely bring it up like he did last year, but he gets in the game and all of a sudden he wants to bring it up higher, and it kind of throws you off balance, kind of have a tilt. So it's something you can do in batting practice, but you get in the game, you get the adrenaline flowing, but don't lift the front leg up too high.
One ball and 2 strikes. Saw Wong go the other way a couple of times the series down in Miami, which is something they'd love to see a little bit more of too.
Sure, utilize the entire field.
1 ball and 2 strikes. And a ground ball that's hit to short. Mondesi across the diamond, and the pick by Duda.
One thing these Royals can do, they may have trouble hitting, they might have trouble pitching, but they can play defense.
And tonight they're without Alex Gordon in left field. Not hurt, but just not in the starting lineup this evening.
And they've had 9 straight games of errorless baseball. But Dan, Cardinals have committed 88 errors, the Royals 53.
I would say, though, the Cardinals have cleaned that up to an extent here recently.
Better. Yes, I would agree.
Not perfect by any means, but better. Here's Munoz, the 8th place hitter. And this is such a different game with the DH being used here. Normally you'd have the pitcher on deck, first base open, Runner in scoring position. Might pitch around Munoz or just straight walk him, but in this case, they may go right at him. And the 1-0.
And Dan, that's probably exactly what they would have done, because Munoz in that first series in St. Louis was 5 for 9. And we have seen him not only hit at a high level when he starts, but he's driving the ball and scoring runners.
I was so impressed with 2 plays he's made in right field on this road trip, and 1 saved the game against the Pirates. Doesn't get the call. A little bit high. Mike Schilt telling us that club feels that Munoz's best position, at least in the outfield, is center. Not left, not right, even though he plays it fine, but center field. Love his arm and good speed.
And right today, and I saw before the game, Willie had him down in the right field corner, showing how the ball will roll around. You know, base hit that goes into foul territory, and say in the right or left field corners, well, the ball will kind of come right around towards the bullpen area. So you don't go in to the wall to get it. You kind of lay back a little bit and go to the bullpen areas, because it'll go. It used to have a trough, and the ball would get into that trough and just take it right around to the bullpens.
2-1 pitch hit up the middle. Mondesi to his left and gets it out of the glove for the out.
Had a little trouble with the exchange, so a good thing that Munoz was still running hard. Turco advances. And as you say, instead of a pitcher batting now, as you see, Mondesi comes up there, a little double clutch. It still gets him. But instead of a pitcher batting right now, you got Bader, the 9th place hitter, with the DH in play. Harrison sporting about, what, 5 stitches?
4 or 5, right above the eye, the awkward slide in Miami. He got stuck in the mud. 2 outs and a runner at third.
Flaherty will be pitching tomorrow, and Bader and Paul DeYoung. I think somebody else went to the Negro League Hall of Fame Museum yesterday.
Jack Flaherty. I was there today, visiting with Bob Kendrick, who runs that baseball museum. I say it all the time. You have the chance, if you're coming to Kansas City tomorrow or for the game on Sunday, build in an hour or 2 and make that visit. It's worth it. It's about 15 minutes away from the ballpark. A ball and a strike with 2 outs. Right above the right eye there, the stitches for Harrison Bader.
Yeah, a little bit of a shiner. Put the Band-Aid over it since batting practice.
Two-one into center field and a base hit. A 2-out single. It drives in Jed Jerko. 2-0 Cardinals.
Well, that off-speed pitch was just telegraphed right there. You could see the arm action slow down. He really did a good job of weight shift back, and then just pulled the trigger. See, you can see that it really just slowed up the motion, and it didn't fool him at all.
Here's Carpenter now, a 2-run St. Louis lead. Mike Schilt has talked about the Cardinals are going to try to be more aggressive in running, but they're not just going to run wild. The combination of the pitcher and the catcher and who's at first, it's got to make sense. It'll be interesting all weekend long with a guy like Perez behind the plate if the Cardinals are indeed going to be aggressive.
Ollie Marmol told me that it may not be, off of this pitcher, it may not be the easiest to steal second but it may be much easier to go from second to third. Birthday boy yesterday turned 50, Mike Schill.
That's right. In the air, deep right, at the wall. He's done it again. Matt Carpenter, home run number 32. 4-0 St. Louis. Unbelievable what's happening right now with Matt Carpenter.
6 out of 7 games.
Wow.
32nd home run.
I mean, that was launched. That was way out of here.
Yeah, there was no doubt about that one. Went to the fountains. And this is a big ballpark.
Leaders in homers in the National League. And now it's Carpenter with 32, Arenado with 29. Getting to the point, if you're the opposition, you cannot pitch to him.
No. I mean, it's just getting that way.
He's that locked in. The 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes.
And think about it, Danny. How can you say that about a guy that's hitting 140 on May 15th?
Well, I talked about it the other night. We had a situation right around that time. And Mike Matheny, and you understood why he did it, but he pinch hit for Carpenter against a lefty with the game on the line.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where Matt was at that point.
And at that time, he would be the first one to tell you that was the correct decision.
And that's sent into the gap in left center. Molina on his way to second base. That ball all the way to the wall. And some salsa. Carpenter on base streak, by the way, 28 straight games. This is measured at 425 feet.
But there's a really towering fly ball. Remember, Danny, when he was struggling, and then the analytics department showed him that don't change a thing. You're just hitting in bad luck. Everything the exit velocity, everything. And there's our buddy Cal Eldred. He's a new pitching coach here in Kansas City. But I sit there and I said, did that correspond with you when you started getting hot? And he goes, actually, it was 2 weeks later. You know, they showed him all the analytics. They don't change a thing. And then, so that must have been right around May 1st. And then he told me 2 weeks later is when he started going on the binge.
It's unbelievable right now.
May 16.
Sparkman, a right-hander, getting loose in the pen for Kansas City. 28 pitches in the inning already for Smith, and the 8th man to come to the dish for the Cardinals is Jose Martinez. He's singled to right, first time up. 4-0 Cardinals. Began with a solo home run hit by Paul DeYoung. A 2-out single. Bader to center to drive in Jerko, who had walked. And then Carpenter, a 2-run blast moments ago. There it is through May 15th. The average at 140. Since then, incredible.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody this hot. You know, from the home run standpoint, we think of 98 and Big Mac, but you know, he's doing it average-wise, and you know, coming up with key game-winning hits, home runs.
I would think Pujols at some point had to be like this? I mean, he was just too good not to.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I guess. Because we just took for granted all of his great numbers. But Paul DeYoung said, you know, if Carpenter doesn't hit, we don't win. That's how hot he is right now.
Which is why, and we still got a lot of time left, but his name has got to be in the conversation for most valuable player of the National League.
What's hurt him right now is probably the lack of RBIs. You know, and he's got 63, but the way he's going right now, he'll catch the other guys.
And I think the way that you counter it is you say, well, he's a leadoff hitter. He's had a lot of solo home runs and a lot of leadoff homers. I think 8 of his 32 have been leadoff home runs. Love the fact that the DH is in play here for Carpenter. No pitcher batting ninth, and you would think that there might be some more opportunities this weekend.
Sure.
5 hits for the Cardinals already. The 2-2 pitch into center field. Molina will score. And it's 5-0 St. Louis. And that may be it. Ned Yost has seen enough. 5-0 St. Louis.
The Cardinal hitting coach has just felt that he makes too many mistakes in the middle of the plate.
Austin Gomber has been given a 5-0 lead. Maybe more. Top of the second. Wherever you may be. Glenn Sparkman is into the ball game. Chevy called to the pen after an inning and 2/3 from the starter Birch Smith.
Sparkman was at start of the season at Double-A, then went to Triple-A, 7-3, ERA just under 4, 16 starts.
Batter is Marcell Ozuna, lined into a double play back in the first inning. 0 for 1. And a wild pitch. Advancing Martinez to second. Outfield straight away. 2 balls and no strikes. Ozuna, the 9th man to come to the plate for the Cardinals here at the top of the second. 2-1. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Umpires tonight, Tom Hallion calling the balls and strikes. 3 balls and 1 strike on Marcelo Zuna. Ground ball that's hit to short. Mondesi gloves and makes the play. 5-run top of the second for St. Louis. Begins with a Paul DeYoung home run, his 11th of the year. And then who else? Number 32 off the bat of Carpenter. 5-0 early. Cleanup hitter, the third baseman Hunter Dozier. The trade of Mike Moustakas to Milwaukee, so Dozier a chance to play at third.
I'd say Dozier was blocked in Milwaukee at third base, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, Travis Shaw and some others.
And Moustakas now. Or...
1 ball and 1 strike. We're going to check in with Erica Weston after this pitch.
Long half inning of rest for Gomber. Really concentrate on those first pitches.
That's pulled foul. Erica, what do you have for us?
Well, besides not being crushed by that foul ball right there, as you mentioned earlier in the telecast, Dan, 10 rookies on the Cardinals roster this season. That is, of course, tied for second in Major League Baseball. And of course, they have made quite an impact so far this season. Austin Gomber on the bump tonight, a rookie this season. A lot of the Cards' success can be attributed to these young guys. I talked to Bud Norris before the game today, who has a couple of rookies in the pen to mentor, saying they're competitive beasts and they make the clubhouse a competitive atmosphere as well. He said they're learning on the fly, and it's been a lot of fun. Mike Schilt also adding that they're competitive beyond their years. He says it's also a credit to the farm system, of course, which he is very familiar with. They're implementing a lot of good habits, and it's exciting. Now, of course, the Royals also used 10 rookies this season, but the Cardinals and Royals are both trending in opposite directions, Dan.
All right, Erica, thank you. It's about drafting and then developing. And Gary LaRocque and his staff, as they run the Cardinals minor league system, they do a very good job with that, trying to implement what the players will see, what to expect when they get here. This is Lucas Duda.
I think it has something to do with also when you go into that clubhouse in spring training, see all the banners, maybe for the young kids to see all the pitchers, the guys that came through the organization, now in the big leagues.
Hit out to right center. That stays in the ballpark. The catch made by Bader on the track. So Gomber is retired the first 5. 2018 marks the 25th anniversary of the movie The Sandlot. Tuesday, August 14th, the Cardinals are celebrating this baseball classic. Purchase of a special theme ticket. You can choose between a Cardinals hand bobblehead or a Cardinals squints bobblehead. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/theme. 25 years, The Sandlot. Here's Bonifacio. And strike one.
Younger brother of Emilio. Jorge.
Little check swing. Wong to his left. Throw up the line and Carpenter off the bag.
Carpenter wants them to check it. He's convinced that his foot stayed on the bag.
And the Cardinals now will challenge, so that would tell you that must be pretty compelling evidence that he's out.
Carpenter kind of gave that indication also that his foot came off, but he felt like it was on at first. Tough throw for Wong. He's played so well defensively.
Crew chief is also our home plate umpire, Tom Hallion, and at first base, that's Ryan Blakeney with the call. Take a look again here.
See where long run for Wong, then he had to catch that ball on the hop and then throw a little sidearm. Well, he got it, but wasn't after he gone past the bag.
Question will be his toe.
Yeah.
If his toe is still on the bag, and they can enhance that view video wise in New York and blow it up, and we'll see.
But Blakeney had a good look at where he is, the outfield side of the first base.
Cardinals, I think they believe he's out. Majority of the players on the infield and ready to walk off, including the outfielders.
If it was his older brother running, he would have been safe. Sure, he could really run, and he's safe with the younger one. Just the fourth error on Colton Wong.
1 minute 19 seconds on the review. Cole stands, and now Brett Phillips. Gomber is 6 of 6 first pitch strikes. Seven of 7.
And that is so important, Danny, because that was something he was not doing. He was doing a good job once he had fallen behind of getting the count even with the second pitch strikes. But when he's ahead in the count, they're only batting 125 against him.
And the 0-1 taken for a ball, low on outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And when Gomber is behind in the count, the average goes up to 381. But that's just, you know, limited. Small sample size.
Birch Smith, the starter for Kansas City, an inning and 2/3, 46 pitches. That's lifted in the air out to Bader. It's a 5-run lead for the Cardinals. 2 innings in the books. Paul DeYoung is already homered. He's coming up when we come back. 5-0 in the top of the third, and here is Paul DeJong. Home run number 11, first time up on a breaking ball. Sparkman working in his second inning. And a strike. There's 38 pitches combined with Smith and Sparkman in that second inning. Thought a key at bat was DeJong going to right field. And he pulls that sharply to third. Handled by Dozier. Ever since then, that was in game 1 against Miami, he's been more locked in at the plate. Not pulling off of pitches, a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
Here's Jed Jerko. Walked and scored back in the second inning on the home run by DeJong. Cardinals have Jack Flaherty going tomorrow against Danny Duffy. Flaherty 5-6, Duffy 7-10. And Weaver will go in the afternoon game as we wrap up this long road trip on Sunday.
Good to see Dreamweaver have a good game last time.
He was outstanding.
That's what these young guys will push you. You know, you got the likes of Hudson and Ponce de Leon, guys down there in the bullpen that were starters at AAA, and all of a sudden, a little that friendly competition that, you know, I think Gomber's kind of got the message last time. Remember, he only went 4 innings. It took him out, cost him a victory because he had a chance to add to it, but you know, he gave up 3 runs and tied the ball game the inning before. So it's kind of like, hey, go out there and be efficient.
As Jerko goes over Duda for a base hit. On base for the second time.
He's kind of smiling about this one because he just muscles it over. Ball coming in, muscles it over, it gets over Duda's head into the outfield grass for a single.
Now Colton Wong grounded into a fielder's choice. 0 for 1. Kind of to further your point there, Al, that these starters have not been going as deep into games. Not all the time, but Mike Schilt manages aggressively, which we've seen. Now, a part of that, though, is what he's got in his bullpen.
Exactly, because he's got multiple inning relievers, so he can do that. If you take a guy out 4 or 5 innings in, you know, you feel very comfortable bringing in Ponce de Leon, Dakota Hudson, you know, Gomber when he was out there, you know, just whoever's out there, at guys that were starters in the minor leagues. It makes a real difference.
Tyson Ross,
Tyson Ross now has been added. He was starting for San Diego.
2-0 pitch, 3-0.
Seeing Mike Myers get more leverage, higher opportunities to go out there and doing a good job. You know what, you got 8th inning with Hicks and Norris at 9th.
And that's ball 4. So a ground out, single, and now a walk, and it brings in Munoz. Hall of Fame mystery cap coming up during the Hall of Fame weekend. That's Saturday, August 18th, Cardinals.com/promotions. Mystery cap, Vince Coleman or Ray Langford, presented by Edward Jones. First and second, 1 out for Munoz. And a grounder that's hit to short. Mondesi to second. The turn, not in time. That'll extend the inning to Bader.
Typical double play ball because Mondesi had to go to his right a couple steps. Gets the ball there, and there you see with Wong coming right down on Murfield that wasn't the best throw and had a little elevation to it. Dude had to come off the bag.
Here's Bader. Started a 2-out rally for the Cardinals back in the second inning. The base hit and an RBI. Also scored the 2-run homer hit by Carpenter.
Bader started. He's been close to a 300 hitter.
Yeah, right around that 290 mark. Jammed here, and it's back to the pitchers, Sparkman, and the Cardinals strand a pair. Midway through 3, and it's 5-0 here in Game 1 from Kauffman Stadium. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. There's a fly ball on the first pitch, hit out to deep right, and a one hops off the wall. And Mondesi, who could really run, on his way to third, and in there with a triple.
That ball just carried and carried. I think it surprised Munoz out in right field a little bit. Fastball down and in, and he goes out to the right field. One hops the wall. Gets right here, hits a cutoff man, but look at him run now. Turn on those afterburners. Because his father was a real good ball player.
Oh boy.
Rookie of the year in the National League, playing for the Dodgers. At the time, some people considered him maybe to be the best player to come out of the Dominican Republic at that time. Not sure you'd say that anymore.
So many good players. Hall of Famers. Nothing at 2 the count. And a late swing. Speaking of Raul Mondesi, 1995, this date in Cardinals history. Cardinals get a 2-1 win. You may remember this. It was Ball Day at Dodger Stadium. In the bottom of the ninth, Raul strikes out, then ejected for arguing the call. Tommy Lasorda gets thrown out, and then the fans bombarded the field with more than 200 baseballs they received as souvenirs. And the umpires and the Cardinals got off the field for safety reasons, and the Cardinals won that ball game. Whit Merrifield hits it out of play. So it was the first forfeit in the major league since Disco Demolition Night in 1979 in Chicago.
I remember both of them. I was at the one with Mondesi and the ball incident. Of course, we had a situation in St. Louis that happened one time, and those incidents created the fact that you don't get balls out anymore until you're leaving the stadium.
That's right.
And Disco Demolition was Bill Vex. You know, he had a promotion where if you brought in a record, you get free admittance, and then in between a doubleheader, they had these DJs who were going to blow them up. The Royals, I was with the Royals then, and we went in about a month later, and you could still find pieces of records all over the outfield. But they said they actually had to bring the mounted police in because they had to turn away so many people that were trying to get in there free, and brought in the patrol to contain the crowd. And then there was so much out of the debris they had to forfeit the second game.
Here's a 2-1. I mean, the video from that night is scary, hysterical.
I don't think I've ever seen the video.
Oh, it's incredible. There's people all over the field. There's stuff exploding.
It's baseball.
Yeah.
Well, you know, in St. Louis, we believe the best promotion is winning.
3-2. Went with a changeup.
And then Megan Eberhardt and all her crew, and all the promotions they do, and just unbelievable the difference. You know, giveaways now as to compare 30, 40 years ago.
Something always to do or get at the ballpark. 3-2 pitch into shallow center. Bader with the catch. His throw to the plate, a strike, a throw to third, and save.
Wow.
See Jed Jerko looking back into the Cardinal dugout as if to say, I think I may have gotten him, but Cardinals have had that challenge at first base. What a throw, a cannon by Bader in center field.
Well, how about we'll start with the catch, because he got such a good read on the ball. He took off and ran, and we know he loves to dive for a ball, and I haven't seen him miss one yet, but he gets there. He's got all of his momentum coming forward. Fires a strike there. Yachty gets it back to Jerko, but that's what you do. You want your momentum coming behind. That's just a pretty play all the way around. Mondesi is scrambling. Ooh.
And a ball to Herrera. The energy and the speed that Bader brings to a lineup. He's already had an RBI single tonight. Now that catch and throw.
He's already become one of the top defenders at his position. Bader's second on rookies with 5 outfield assists, and he hasn't been playing that much. But I mean, he's got a bunch of what they call 5-star and 4-star catches.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Gomber is an out away from pitching out of a jam in which Mondesi was at third base with nobody out. Strikeout of O'Hearn. Merrifield, the fly ball into shallow center. And a count of 2 balls and 1 strike on Herrera. Struck out back in the first. Gomber has struck out 2 on the night.
You have a play defensively made behind you. You're in that situation. You still have the shutout intact. It just kind of motivates you all the more to bear down and make sure you get this guy out. But don't put him on in a walk.
inside, and he did walk him. Runners at the corners, and the dangerous Salvador Perez with 19 home runs, turning into one of the elite players in the game in terms of his resume and now some longevity. Great player from Venezuela, 6-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glover, World Series MVP, and a fan favorite here in Kansas City.
He's been in the league about half the time that Yachty has, but you're talking about 2 of the premier catchers in all of baseball, 2 Ironmen too.
He is here, Gordon is here, Ned Yost is here, but I mean this the team that won the World Series, I mean a lot of those guys have moved on.
That was 3 years ago.
That's not that long ago.
No, and you know, it just allowed too many free agents to hit the market at the same time.
I'm sure one of the things that their front office will try to do if they can is they develop talent, they become big leaguers, but you know, try to stagger contracts to where not everybody is falling free agency in the same year. There's strike one.
Well, Gomber's done a good job of getting ahead of hitters, and that is something you needed to work on.
What do you think about it, Al? You had Moustakas, Kane, Hosmer, all 3 hitting free agency at the same time. You can't keep everybody.
Escobar now is, you know, relegated to more of a bench player. He had his 421 consecutive game streak stopped.
0-1 is popped up. Out of play. Gomber tries to put away Perez right here. Kept in front by Molina. Mentioned the cutter, and now maybe you can explain why the cutter has been an effective pitch here for Gomber.
Well, the biggest reason is because when he was reliever, lefties were hitting 375 against him. He had the fastball, curveball. But if you think about a curveball, you know, 12-6, most left-handers have an uppercut swing. So that ball was just going right into the swing plane. So the cutter was designed more so for the left-handed batters, but he's been able to incorporate it for the righties also.
Out of play. Allows him to pitch on both sides of the plate.
Yeah, and you know, because when everything is up and down, you know, this hitters can kind of gauge that. But when you get put a little east and west in there, inside and outside, it kind of throws people off. You got to pitch on both sides of the plate. And that's one thing that I've been real impressed with these young pitchers, young guys like, that they are not afraid to pitch inside, and you've got to do that to win.
Pitch number 20 coming up from Austin Gomber here in this inning. Total of 41 on the night. Royals are 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. The Cardinals already have had 7 opportunities with men in scoring position, and they've gone 2 for 7. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gomber is set. Runners at the corners with 2 down.
Hit him.
Yep. And now the bases are loaded.
Like I said, they pitch inside.
Perez does wear that protective gear on the elbow, and it looked like it caught him there.
Just barely, but it did catch him.
Mike Maddox, a visit with the bases loaded.
Injury or illness should never interrupt childhood. St. Louis Children's Hospital, guardians of childhood.
5-0, bases loaded here in the bottom of the 3rd with 2 outs. batter is Hunter Dozier. Lined out first time up to left field. Four for 42 with runners in scoring position this year, and he's in the cleanup spot for the Royals tonight. It's a down the right field line, slicing foul and out of play. He's on base 3 times Wednesday against the Cubs. Had a couple of hits, 2 runs scored. Trying to extend his on base streak to 11. Temperatures have cooled a bit. Beautiful night here in Kansas City. And the 0-1. '30th in runs offensively, 30th in runs allowed, and well, that's not a good combo.
No, it's not, but any given time they can have a good game. So real important to shut him down right here with the bases loaded.
Turn the game around right here.
That's right.
2-1 the count. And a fly ball lifted out to Munoz. He's there, makes the catch. Royals strand, the bases loaded. It doesn't matter where he's hitting. How about Pittsburgh, Miami, Kansas City? He's on fire. He's coming up next. Matt Carpenter, first in home runs, tied for 4th in runs scored, first in extra base hits in the National League. Is he the MVP? How he stacks up against 2 guys that certainly would be in the running, Javi Baez of the Cubs and Nolan Arenado of the Rockies.
Definitely make a case for it.
I could see any one of them.
Yeah, and what would help Carpenter is if Cardinals get into postseason.
No doubt.
Now the voting ends before as the regular season ends, before postseason play, but he spotted everyone 6 weeks.
And a strike.
And I would expect to see some of that salsa on the shelves of Schnucks grocery stores real soon.
Count me in.
What do you need it for?
Well, you know, you got to put your best foot forward in these broadcasts.
You think it'll help?
Can't hurt.
That's true, too.
I told you Matt made me eat some in Cincinnati. He
Yes,
said
you did.
you'll have the best game you've ever had in your life. Here's a 1-2 in the dirt, 2-2.
And?
It was fine.
Okay.
I'm not sure it was the best.
Yeah, I was with you.
Al, you bring out the best in everybody. The 2-2 pitch. There's swing and a miss. Arcia drive to success. Yadier Molina, who has doubled and scored, hit by a pitch tonight. And Molina, since the break, 36-year-old hitting .314, 9 extra base hits, 10 runs batted in.
And I mentioned that this is his 19th consecutive game that he's playing, and that's a major league record. At age 36, his brother Benji started 8 games in a row, and that was the record for someone to start 5 consecutive games.
This date, by the way, pretty famous game that Yachty was involved in. Brandon Phillips and Molina, benches would clear. That was in 2010. Doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
Oh, yes, it does.
2010. The second game of that series against the Reds.
We won't forget it. My buddy Jeff Suppan, what I saw is he's a pitching coach in Royals organization,
Yep.
in A-ball, I think it is. He was humorous, trying to get out of the middle.
The 3-1 lifted in the air out to left field. Bonifacio under it and makes the catch. I'm not sure that Brett Phillips really saw that ball in center. Regardless, Bonifacio with the catch.
And the lights are just about ready, but Bonifacio had it all the way, so it really was no problem.
They have new lights here, new LED lights here at the ballpark at Kauffman Stadium. Understand it'll be a sellout tomorrow. And a big crowd here on this Friday night. That's fouled back by Jose Martinez, who's 2 for 2.
I think Jose ever worries about what's going on. He just comes to play and have fun.
And the 0-1. Back to the pitcher. And Sparkman makes the play in a 1-2-3 inning. Midway through 4, it's 5-0 St. Louis.
Kansas City Royals by a score of 5-0. The Cardinals have won 4 series in a row, and 3 out of the last 4 series wins for the Cardinals have come on the final game of that series. I spoke to the guys in the clubhouse earlier today. They said they played in a lot of close games this season, so it's nice to get over the hump of winning those games and close out the series in the final game. They said it's really building a lot of momentum for us. We're doing the little things, having some good relief outings from guys in the pen, and even the games that we're losing, it feels like we're still in them. We're trying to pick each other up, and the energy is natural. Of course, Mike Schilt is an energy guy. He speaks about that often, and it seems to have a good mix of experience and young fire. That is the words of Paul DeYoung, Dan.
Off the glove of Wong, and a base hit for Duda. Ooh, almost came up with a beauty.
Yeah, that would have been a great going up the middle and dive for it. His quickness, scrambling to his feet, would have probably thrown out Duda, but Duda hit this ball very hard.
I think Erica brings up some great points. You know, when you win, there's energy, and the Cardinals are winning. They've had happy flights on the final game of series on a road. Things starting to come together. A little different feel to this ball club for a Bonifacio.
You know, I've never seen a team that didn't have so many problems that a 10-game winning streak wouldn't cure.
Cardinals 3.5 out of the wild card. It is pretty amazing when you think about the type of injuries this club has sustained to be where they're at.
Yeah, I mean, almost like an all-rookie rotation now, or first or second-year pitchers. Now we've revamped the bullpen, which we both thought was going to be a strength this season, but veteran guys got hurt.
I thought when you added Holland on opening day, I'm thinking, wow, this can be a pretty good bullpen.
We were starting to think, you know, Gregerson had a good track record. You know, Dominic Leone, before he had the nerve problem, you know, we saw some electric stuff from him. Bud Norris, we didn't know what he was going to have the year he's going to be. You know, Hicks was an unknown, but it had the makings. You know, we thought Tyler Lyon would have that good breaking ball again.
Two and two. Garber would love a ground ball and a double play here. And now the count runs full. Lucas Duda, your runner at first base. And a fly ball that'll carry to Munoz, and the catch is made. Fox Sports Midwest proud to support Adam Wainwright's Big League Impact Foundation. Fans can come to Busch Stadium on August 31st, play catch on the field, tour the Cardinals clubhouse, then join Adam, Michael Wacha, Carlos Martinez, Miles Michaelis, Jack Flaherty, Luke Weaver, Mike Myers. Live fantasy football draft in the Champions Club. You can choose which player's charity and league you'll play in all season long. Tickets are very limited, so head to bigleagueimpact.com to buy your seat today.
Did you see Wainwright throw in Miami?
Just saw the video.
Just saw the video?
Yeah. It was kind of blocked from where we were at. It was tough to take that view in.
You know, he was encouraged.
Well, you're going to get to a point where you can expand rosters in September, and I'm assuming that, you know, the Cardinals would like to see Adam and Michael Wacha and some of the others. Question will be, where do you fit him in?
Well, that's it. And he's been out for so long, it would be hard to imagine that he'd have a significant role with the ball club. Some pretty impressive arms right now, but in Adam's case, you know, it'd be the final year of his contract, but he says he's in his mind, he's going to play longer than this year.
Whipple gets away from Molina, but Duda does not advance. And a ground ball up the middle and a base hit into center. Duda stops at second. That ball barehanded by Bader just in case. 2 hits in the inning.
Anticipation. Come in on a ball, anticipate that you're going to have to make a throw. Just over the mound, run through. Was well placed.
There was a stretch in which Albert Pujols had 49 games, Al, and 25 home runs and drove in 64.
I guess that was pretty good.
That's a pretty good stretch.
Pretty good.
That was in 2006. But Carpenter in a very similar type stretch right now. Hit .314 during that stretch of games. Carpenter is homered in 3 consecutive games for the 4th time this year. Last Cardinal to do that was Ryan Ludwig. That pitch popped up into center field, racing in Bader to make the catch. Boy, Bader, even on a play like that, he takes pressure off the middle infield.
Sure. He's hustling in. They see him run. They don't have to run back. Try and catch it over their shoulder.
Ryan O'Hearn, the designated hitter.
This is just his 7th game here at the big league level. 22 home runs between AA and AAA, and .253 hitter.
And a grounder that's pulled foul. Daniel Ponce de Leon is throwing very lightly currently in the bullpen. Runners at first and second.
This is just Gomber's 3rd start. Remember, he was a starter at AAA, came up and made 15 relief appearances, went back down for 3 more starts to stretch out, and then got called up to 2 start. But it's just his 3rd here at the major league level. So we really don't know, but I had a special assistant of the Royals, somebody that I have great respect for, that said that he's seen Gomber and thought of him more as a one-time through the order pitcher. That kind of surprised me.
Well, that, adding the cutter though changes a lot.
And that I tried to tell him that.
Pitches by inning for Austin Gomber, up to 66. And that cutter becomes a real good equalizer, lefties and righties. 21st pitch of the inning. Get out of play.
There's a cutter there. Still will throw his knuckle curve, but like you say, you give another pitch for these guys to think about. But it's something, where you've got it going away from a left-hander instead of the curveball coming down and into it.
And the 2-2 fouled back. Gomber tonight is struck out 2. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up right here. The 2-2. Full count and the runner's off with this pitch. You know, the mindset, Mike Schill will tell you, we want our young guys to think and expect themselves to go deep into a game.
Sure.
And a swing and a miss. Strikeout for Gumber. Number 3 tonight. Royals strand a pair. Ozuna, DeYoung, and Jerko coming up in inning number 5. Well, you pass a Hall of Famer in Chipper Jones and a strike to Ozuna. Line into a double play and also grounded out. And hits a high fly ball into center. Phillips under it, and the catch is made. Nissan drive of the game, home run number 11 for Paul DeYoung to get the Cardinals on the board. Part of a 5-run second inning. The Nissan drive of the game.
Glenn Sparkman has come into this ball game and really turned it around. He allowed a hit and a walk, which in his 3rd full inning.
And a grounder hit to short off the bat of DeYoung. That's on number 2. The batter will be Jerko after the walk to Colton Wong back in the 3rd. That's 7 in a row he set down. Royals in 2015, they had 4 starters who began every game of the 2015 postseason. Edinson Volquez, Johnny Cueto, Yordano Ventura, and Chris Young. And all were gone by June of 2017.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we talked about some of the position players, but look at the pitchers that have left.
Some big names there.
Yep. They've only won 35 games to this point.
Gave up a lot to get Zobrist. They gave up a lot to get Cueto.
They're 35 and 79, and coming in today, only Baltimore had a worse record, 35 and 80.
And you say you know you gave up these players to get it, but I'm sure most fans, if not all, would say it was worth it.
Worth it. But you know, the way some guys now they can't sustain it and have a quality team year after year like the Cardinals. Cardinals wanting to win, and I'm not saying the Royals wanted to lose. They knew they were going to be young. They knew they were going to have to rely on a lot of younger players. But I think in their mind, they thought they'd still push 500.
And it's now 3-2 on Jerko. In that bullpen, they had at one point Wade Davis, Greg Holland, Ryan Madsen, Herrera, another one.
Recently was traded.
3-2 pitch, lifted out to left. 9-pitch inning, beautiful night here in the Midwest, Kansas City, Missouri, the I-70 series. T-Mobile. And a look at the night for the lefty and the rookie, Austin Gomber. So Kansas City off the board through 4 innings. And the Cardinals have a 5-0 lead. Top of the lineup and a strike to Whit Merrifield. Herrera on deck, and then Perez.
Starting off with a big curveball, but getting ahead of count, and that's been a good sign. Royals have stranded 6 in this ball game. (15) first pitch strikes.
And it's 2-1.
15 out of 19.
Inside corner, evens it up at 2-2. And Merrifield shaking his head, thought it was inside. Pitch framing ability, the quiet hands of Yadier Molina helped that. Into right center. Harrison Bader with the catch. And there's one away.
Important for Gomber to get that first out. You know, here's the money inning for a starter. You got to go through 5 in order to qualify for a win. Stranded quite a few base runners. 6 the last 3 innings.
So John Gant on Wednesday night had set down 14 in a row. There was 2 hits allowed, and he pulled them in the game. And he's talking with some of the coaches about that, and they say internally they really get after each other. You know, why did you do it? Why wouldn't have done it?
Yeah.
But
conversation.
Yeah, it just that's the way that they talk about it. It's baseball conversation.
If I remember, it was 63 pitches.
Yeah, he was low on the pitch count.
Did you get a win?
That's the idea.
And they got a win.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, you and I were talking. We said, get him through 5 innings, and you may call it quits on him right here, even though there's pitcher spot doesn't come up like it does in the National League.
And a ground ball had him out in front. Gloved by Jerko. 2 away. Dizzy Dean Watch. That giveaway is coming up August 19th. 30,000 fans 16 and over take home a one-of-a-kind Dizzy Dean Watch courtesy of AT&T. Brewers will be in town. Cardinals.com/promotions.
And I heard on the 19th you'd be wearing that watch.
Oh yeah. Be happy to get you one if you'd like one.
Sure, I'd like one.
There's a ball to Salvador Perez, hit by a pitch back in the 3rd inning. That loaded the bases up for Dozier, who flied out to right, and that ended a threat. Hall of Fame weekend in St. Louis. It gets bigger and better every year.
You're giving me tickets for that. You're giving me a watch.
Yep.
I got the number 1 man.
Take care of you.
The man.
I will take care of you. I should explain to you, though, that Hall of Fame weekend, in terms of the ceremony, is open to the public.
Yes.
So
that means I can go.
You're invited. No ticket necessary. Jason Shreve throwing in the Cardinals pen, the lefty.
I think that was a good pickup. Yeah, he's got a good feel for pitching. Primarily keeps the ball out in the middle.
That's pulled foul.
Heard a little bit driving into the ballpark today. Ned Yost was on the radio and talking about Perez and Molina, talking about the Hall of Fame, and Ned said he thought there was 19 catchers that should be in the Hall of Fame, and we were very pleased to hear, and not surprised that he said Ted Simmons should be one of them. But said Yachty should be there, and said his own catcher Perez on the path.
3-2 under the glove of Paul DeYoung and into left field.
Ball hit real hard, and ball trying to backhand it, just gets by him. 2 out base hits aren't the big deal if you can get the next guy out. He's done that twice against Dozier.
So he's got the lefty getting loose. We'll see if he's getting loose for Duda or for Phillips. Duda at the on deck circle.
Last time he was taken out after 4 innings and was denied a victory.
I don't think Mike Shilt's concerned about pitchers and wins and losses the way that he's managed.
Nope.
He's been all about
team
victory.
Yep. And it was a different scenario too, because even though they had a 2-run lead, they had a chance to break it out, break open the game and get some more. And I'm sure Gomber didn't like it, but if he didn't give up 3 runs the inning before and tie the game, he would have still been out there. That's what you got to get guys thinking about too, is that it is more important than just your individual stats. Get people out there, I'm going to take you out.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Hunter Dozier 0 for 2. DeYoung to his left, a flip to Wong, and Gomber through 5. Wong, Munoz, Bader coming up. 5-0 Cardinals. Note the start time, 5:30, right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Jack Flaherty and Danny Duffy. Jack 5 and 6, Duffy 7 and 10.
Flaherty coming off a good outing, 6 innings win, 3 hits allowed, shutout innings. Bomber through 5. So on 89 pitches, 57 strikes. 16 out of 22 batters, he threw a first pitch strike.
Here's Colton Wong and a strike. Wong grounded into a fielder's choice and walked. We're in the 6th inning, 5-0 our score. Chasen Shreve continues to throw for the Cardinals. Of the next 3 hitters, 2 of the 3 are from the left side. If you go down to the 9th place hitter, 3 of the 5. 2 balls and a strike on Colton Wong. And Wong lifts a high fly ball into right center. Well, John Daly competing in the PGA, former champ at Belle Reve and repping the Cardinals. How about those pants? Beautiful.
Look great on John.
He is 3 over at the PGA Championship. But you wouldn't want to wear those?
No. They look good on John.
It is your prerogative not
what was
to.
it, 91 when he won? Crooked stick? What alternate? Just a magical.
Something not right now here with Munoz. Kind of a late swing and something not right. It's Adam Olson of the medical team of the Cardinals.
Wrist.
And he will come out of this game. Cardinals on their bench.
Garcia, Adolis Garcia, maybe.
Yeah. So we will see Adolis Garcia.
Face it, driving impaired affects lives.
Garcia with a count of no balls and 1 strike for Munoz will take over in right field. Made his major league debut the other night, was hitless. Young man with a world of talent.
Minor league player of the month last year. He had 10 home runs last month, hit over 300. Cuban defector that signed March 17. Saw him late in spring training and then had to kind of clear paperwork and everything, and then saw him just briefly in 17 in spring training, and then more this season.
10 home runs in the month of July. There's a strike, and now 0-2. Tough spot to be in. Normally when a guy comes in as a pinch hitter, they have batting cages underneath the stands and could do some tee work, kind of get loose, swing the bat, stretch your legs. So a strikeout of Garcia. There's 2 down, and the batter will be Harrison Bader. Bader is 1 for 2. A base hit to center with 2 outs, and that started a rally for the Cardinals. After that, 2-run homer by Carpenter. Molina a double, Martinez a single, and a 5-run second inning. Popped up, and that'll find the seats out of play to the right. So left on the bench for the Cardinals, Greg Garcia and Francisco Pena.
I was talking to Francisco the other day because remember now he backed up Salvador Perez and now backing up Yadier Molina, and somebody said, well, you had the easiest job in all of baseball. 2 iron guys. He goes, I don't quite think that way.
Tough to get your timing.
Oh, tough to get your timing. But I'll say one thing about him though, you know, all pitchers meetings, everything. I've never heard a pitcher say I don't like throwing to him. They all respect him. They know what he's doing. He's doing all the prep work because I'm out there catching every bullpen, doing stuff, and always prepared when he does come in.
Francisco spent some time with the Royals, and of course his dad was a manager here with Kansas City.
Told me he's going to next month. Apparently he's supposed to come to St. Louis, but first year in 40+ years that he's not involved in baseball and enjoying home life. Got a bunch of ranches and all kinds of investments in the Dominican.
0-2 pitch to Bader. Cardinals in this particular spot, 2 strikes on Bader, have tried to really have the approach of taking the ball the other way, put a premium on not pulling off a pitch, but putting it in play, especially with his speed.
Well, a couple things usually happen here. He'll chase the breaking ball away or chase a high fastball. There's not so far away, but you know, you can tell he's trying to go and do what they're asking him to do. Mark Podesta and George Greer.
The numbers and how things have turned around offensively are incredible. Lack of strikeouts, chances to drive runners in, the on-base percentage of the Cardinals, much, much better. And the 1-2 hit out to deep left. Off the bat of Bader, 6-0 Cardinals. Seventh home run, Harrison Bader.
Sparkman has been doing a great job. Came in relief back in the second inning. That's the first run scored off of him. And boy, he made a mistake, and Bader made him pay. Kind of a slider that just didn't do much and just sat there in the end part of the plate, and he turned on it. Gets all the way over the bullpen up into that neighborhood.
Here's Matt Carpenter, 419 feet off the bat of Bader on a 1-2 pitch. Carpenter, a 2-run homer back in inning number 2. And it was number 32 to lead the National League. A ball and a strike.
And his 6th home run in the last 7 games. And the home run he hit was one of the highest towering fly balls we've ever seen him hit.
Right wrist sprain, the word we get from the Cardinals on Munoz, and a grounder that's pulled foul by Carpenter. AI powered by AWS StatCast. The long one hit by Carpenter, number 32.
No doubt about that one.
1 ball and 2 strikes, 2-2. Where's number 13? He was a 13th round pick. 5 years at TCU. Tommy John surgery.
Got a big bonus.
$1,000. And the 2-2 is hit sharply to Duda. He'll step on the bag. Bader, the home run, his 2nd hit of the night. and his 7th home run this year. Harrison Bader and the Cardinals here in Game 1. We made our Lowe's whole team together. Cardinals bullpen the last 4 series, and they've won them all. 47 innings, and the ERA of the pen 1.34. Team has gone 9-4 in that time. Here's Bader with a home run. He's made some nice plays defensively. Adolis Garcia takes over in right field. Chevy called to the pen. Chasen Shreve, his numbers with the Yankees and the Cardinals.
5th appearance for the Cardinals in that time. He's got a win and 2 holds. Got a pretty good feel. And you watch him, and one thing I like about him is you watch how he can really hit the outside corner. And basically on both sides of the plate, but keeps everything out of the middle unless it's really down in the strike zone. Like that.
1 ball and 1 strike.
He gets a lot of swing and misses.
Royals are celebrating their 50th season, and tomorrow bringing back several players from the '85 team. George Brett, Willie Wilson, Charlie Leibrandt, Danny Jackson. Pitched briefly with St. Louis. John Wathan, Jamie Quirk. 50 years of Royals baseball.
Real good guys on that list.
2 balls and a strike on Duda.
2 of them I played with. You know, Brett, Frank White, Wathan, Willie Wilson. Frank White's trying to rerun for the executive county
He was reelected.
executive.
He was reelected.
I saw the billboard last night. So he was reelected. Number 20 up there. 10 is former manager Dick Hauser. 5 George Brett.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. Cardinals leading 6-0. And a fly ball. That'll carry to Bader. 1 away. Bonifacio reached on an air by Wong and also flied to right. And a ball inside. It's turned into a beautiful night here at Kauffman Stadium. They've done some great renovations with this ballpark.
Very pretty.
And a grounder foul.
Renovations for the fans and also the ballpark and the ball clubs down the clubhouses area, but sports complex here with a football stadium for the Chiefs behind us. Still have the track in between. Originally it was designed that they were going to have a removable roof that could go from one field to the other, but kind of ran out of money.
We had a $250 million renovation that was completed before the 2009 season. Added that area there in that Royals Hall of Fame. We showed you down the right field line a party porch that they have here. And a swing and a miss. So Shreve has his first strikeout. Chevy Fox Tracks strikeout for Chasen Shreve. I'll mention Kansas City with 35 wins. They have 79 losses. Baltimore 35 and 80 at the start of play this evening. Well, that's a long year. Woo.
What they say, their fan base is buying into it because they're seeing some of the future, how it could rebuild. Might have some young position players, but probably have to see if they can develop better pitchers.
Little flare out to shallow left that'll drop in. Base hit for Brett Phillips. 2 for 3 on the night. Phillips 66. Ticket vouchers are back and they're better than ever. Fill up at Phillips 66. 8 gallons or more, and you can get a voucher for up to 50% off and up to 8 tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66. 2-out hit by Phillips extends the inning to Mondesi. Team record in attendance for the Royals was in 2015. They drew 2.7 million.
Mondesi's a switch hitter. He bats .216 from this side, his weak side.
And the 0-1 pitch. It's a ball and a strike. It was in Game 5 in the World Series of 2015 that Mondesi actually made his major league debut. Only player ever in the history of the game to debut in the World Series.
Pinch runner or
was at the plate.
Pinch hitter, huh?
Yep. Go get him, kid.
Yeah. Think about it. Could have been Jose Martinez, but they chose not to pick up the batting champion of the American Association, or Pacific Coast League now.
2 balls and 2 strikes. There's just a little bit of pressure. First at bat in the World Series.
Hit a home run, you retire.
2-2. It's a nice share to begin your
I was going to say
career with.
Get your share. I doubt that he got a full share. sometimes the meetings where the players divvy up the shares is very entertaining.
2-2 the count. The fans are saying, well, what is that? We're talking about money that the players receive, and it is divvied up, a pool of the money that's made in postseason play. And the players then can decide on how that money is dispersed.
And for a player, young player that would play part of a year, you know, instead of maybe getting a quarter share, or you may get just a dollar figure, because you usually do that before you even start postseason, and you don't know if you're going to be knocked out in the first round, or do you go all the way to the World Series where it's 300,000 plus.
Runner off with a pitch from first base, and the 3-2 fouled back again. Ninth pitch of the at bat coming up here. That's fouled back. And a 3-2 pitch again by Shreve. Popped up and out of play again. So 22 pitches and counting here in the inning for Shreve, a right-hander throwing in the Cardinals' pen.
And I think it was in the Pittsburgh series. There was a long at bat by a Cardinal, and Hurdle said that, you know, his pitching coach Ray Surge told him, he said nothing good happens after an 8 or 9 pitch at bat. Everything falls apart for a pitcher after that.
This will be the 11th pitch coming up here. Out to shallow left center, but there's Bader racing in to make the catch. Shreve, a scoreless inning. Molina, Martinez, Ozuna coming up. In Kansas City, in our game summary, 6-0. Austin Gomber, the starter for the Cardinals, 5 innings, 4 hits, no runs. Carpenter, another home run, his 32nd. Harrison Bader, 2 for 3 with a homer. And Birch Smith, a short outing, the starter for Kansas City. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri.
Had 3 home runs in this game already. Bader, DeYoung, and of course Carpenter. Sparkman, who came in relief of the starter, he's 4 1/3 innings, and he's only allowed 2 hits and 1 run. The home run to Bader.
That could save a bullpen for this weekend. Old buddy Cal Eldred, the pitching coach here with the Royals, former colleague at Fox Sports Midwest. And that's line foul. There's Cal Eldred. Good guy.
Yes, he is. Cardinals have hit with 3 tonight, 145 home runs. Royals 98. And Royals pitching has allowed 154 with the 3 tonight.
Here's a 1-2. And that yanked down the left field line. And fair. Hops off the wall. And Molina to second base with his second double of the night. On base for the 3rd time overall. He was hit by a pitch as well. Just keeps on going, huh?
Oh, he does. Ball up and in, just turns on it. Is it going to keep it fair, or is it going to go foul? One hops and just inside by inches, inside the foul line. He just keeps on going, doesn't he?
It's incredible. Jose Martinez.
How many young players do you see playing 19 games in a row? Of course, we had the off day yesterday, which will help out, recharge his battery, but still, he's 36.
And that gets through Perez. And Molina moving up to 3rd base.
It looks like it probably should be a pass ball. They'll probably give him a wild pitch, but a little lazy on it. And he's an outstanding defender. That kind of year too, where you really have to challenge yourself to be on top of your game every minute.
Scored a wild pitch. Infield brought in. 6-0 Cardinals, and a chance here for Jose Martinez. And he lines it out to right center. And that ball is down and to the wall. Molina will score. Martinez to second base. Phillips about a step short of a tremendous catch. Very good effort. Comes up short. Molina scores. And the Cardinals just keep adding on.
3rd hit, 2nd RBI for Martinez. And you just got to think that Sparkman just kind of wore out. He got tired in there. He's done a heck of a job tonight. And you know, Ned Yost and his teammates appreciate it.
Jose Martinez now up to 65 runs batted in. 7-0 our score. Fox Sports Midwest. And our annual This One's For You broadcast honoring our armed forces. This year we highlight soldiers from the Missouri National Guard 35th Engineer Brigade in Kuwait. This One's For You, August 15th on Fox Sports Midwest. Jason Adam, the new pitcher, right-hander in for Kansas City. Chevy called to the pen. Marcelo Ozuna at the plate. 7-0 our score. 10-hit attack by the Redbirds.
Jason's a local kid. He's the 19th known player to play for the Royals after attending the Kansas City area high school. He made his major league debut on May the 5th against Detroit in Kansas City. He's had 3 straight scoreless outings.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Ozuna. The 1-1 pitch with Jose Martinez at second base. Out of play. And the 1-2 pitch. Ozuna swing and a miss. To be a nasty curveball there. Take a look. Pretty good one.
Yeah, it's real tight. 77 curveball, but real tight spin on it. Downward action.
Shortstop pull to Young. Leadoff homer in the second. It's grounded out sharply to both third and short. Room on the right side. Cardinals did have Mike Myers up and throwing in the pen. I believe Daniel Ponce de Leon now is starting to get loose.
I think you're right. Ponce kind of been saving there to be a long man and hoping you don't use him, but got to use him sometime.
Two and 0. Three balls, no strikes.
See, Adams really short arms the ball. Kind of brings that arm back instead of you seeing a lot of extension away from the body. It's kind of close to the ear and short arms it to the plate. Tougher for a hitter to pick it up.
And a 3-1 pitch. Three and 2.
Adds a little deception and becomes what you call sneaky fast.
Backs up and struck him out.
looked like it was going right at DeYoung, and then last second, look at that ball break straight down and on the corner.
Tom Hallion, some have gone to various umpiring schools. My understanding is he went to Enrico Palazzo. I mean, that is some kind of emphatic call.
I kind of have to check with Tom about that.
And a fly ball lifted out to right field, and the catch is made. Time to stretch. The city of fountains, Kansas City. Important game concerning the wild card for both teams. Daniel Ponce de Leon is into the game, and it's 7-0 St. Louis here in game one of this 3-game weekend series. The Cardinals and the Royals. Chevy called to the pen. He did have that one fabulous start. And he's had plenty of rest, 8 days, so they need to get him into a game.
Yeah, I said that, you know, Mike Shield kind of having him down as a long man, but hoping he never uses him because you want your starter to go deep. But you got to get him into a game here and let him extend a little bit.
A fastball at 93. Ryan O'Hearn, the designated hitter at the plate, so 9-1-2 for Kansas City. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Cardinals about hit the Royals 10-5 in a 7-0 lead. That was the thing about Daniel in that start. He never threw a breaking ball. I mean, it was his fastball. He would change it up, especially to the lefties.
Well, that's what happens is, you know, it's kind of like Gomber adding the cutter, or his curveball was getting him in trouble. So he eliminated it.
Shallow right, and Garcia with the catch.
We talked about how these young pitchers, you know, have the ability to get in on batters. You see that awkward swing as the ball in. Every hitter wants to get his arms extended, drive the ball. Hitting it off the fist isn't comfortable.
So 1 out with Merrifield at the plate and another strike.
I knew Witt His father, Bill, went to Wake Forest, and I asked George Greer if he had him as a player because he was the winningest coach at Wake Forest. And he said, no, he was there 2 years before I got there. Pretty good college player in his own right, too, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. And that pitch taken down. And it's pulled foul. 2-2 the count with 1 out and nobody on. And the next by Daniel. Out of play.
And became one of 5 pitchers in the expansion era to carry a no-hitter through 7 innings or more in their major league debut. Did it in that great game on July 23rd at Cincinnati.
And that's yanked foul. Crowd tonight at 29,414, 29414. Just missed on the outside corner.
Still an amazing story. His recovery from brain surgery a year ago.
Three-two pitch and a 1-out walk. The mystery BP pullover is coming up August 17th. Courtesy of Coca-Cola and Schnucks. You'll be surprised at the gates. You'll discover which Cardinals player you get to rep. Cardinals.com/promotions. Good portion of this crowd of 29,000 plus wearing red. A lot of Cardinal fans here tonight. Cardinals always travel well, and it gets to be a little bit easier at that trek down I-70.
I think the Cardinal fan base be excited to see this team come home the way they're playing now.
It's been a long road trip.
And the Cardinals have always played very well in this ballpark.
14 games above the 500 mark here at Kauffman Stadium. The Cardinals came in with some very good teams, beat up on lesser teams of the Royals. Things evened out a little bit the last few years. And a 1-1 pitch by Daniel Ponce de Leon. There was a managerial change for the Cardinals, coaching change, and then a remade bullpen. And with that, a lot of youth. That has sparked this club. Trying to go to 6 games above the 500 mark tonight. The changeup had him way out in front. 2-2 the count.
Tough skin. Spray bottle that next to Mike Schill.
Another changeup, a little bit low. And I'm just waiting for that called third strike from Tom Hallion. Might go into the splits and start moonwalking. And that pitch in the dirt. So 2 runners on now for Daniel Ponce de Leon. You can understand he's got to shake the rust off a little bit. I mean, he's been a starter in the minor leagues, so creature of habit in that regard. Hasn't pitched in 8 days. I'm sure this is a little bit about just getting the feel back.
Yeah, and some guys can get it back better than others. Other guys, I was one that needed to pitch in games. I couldn't go 4 or 5 days and not pitch and throw strikes. Some guys can, but just have to get back in the game, and that's why we always talk about sometimes a closer. He hasn't had a save opportunities, and you got to get him in the game, just whether it's a save opportunity or not, to get us back in the strike zone. Same with starters.
I would assume the Cardinals would probably like to get Tyson Ross at some point into a game too.
Good point. Yeah. I haven't seen him pitch since he's been activated. The Cardinals picked him up on waivers last week. Or was it this week?
And it's fouled back.
Good pitch in on the hands. Not the best formula to walk guys ahead of Perez.
And that's pulled foul. Perez 1 for 2 is hit by a pitch. Also singled. That was to left field back in inning number 5. Dozier at the on deck circle. Daniel loved that ground ball and a double play here. The 0-2 pitch gets the ground ball. 6, 4, 3 with the double play. We head to the 8th, 7-0 St. Louis. Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Ford, going further so you can. And by the Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer close to home. That's Union Station here in Kansas City, which is right across from the World War I monument. A lot of things to do. A lot of things to do here in Kansas City. Drew Butera is in at catcher for Salvador Perez. Here's Colton Wong. Turned that double play moments ago. Were you out on the plaza, Al?
Yes, I was.
Your family is here?
June's here. Family's coming in. Tiffany and West and Matt.
Hope you brought your credit card.
You know they got one.
You just see
June.
the bills.
I mean June. No.
Well, you guys will have
It's all
fun this
good.
weekend.
Yeah.
2-1 pitch. Popped up again. Off the bat of Colton Wong. Playable in foul territory. Butera the catch.
You know, Butera's father, Sal, met him. Scout around for many years. Haven't seen him for a while, but good guy, accepts his role here, Butera.
There's Adolis Garcia. One out and nobody on. Off the end of the bat. Shallow center. It drops and a base hit for Garcia. His first ever in the big leagues.
It's a line drive in the scorebook. On the paper, but that first major league hit. Very special.
Young man that's had a long road to get to Major League Baseball. Congratulations, Adolis Garcia.
Right off the end of the bat, catch that breaking ball, and right there in no man's land.
Think about some of the backstories of these players. That young man from Cuba played over in Japan, brought back to the United States.
He briefly played with Michaelis in Japan, and now his brother, who was a couple years with the Atlanta Braves, is now in Korea playing.
First career hit for Adolis Garcia. Let's hope many more to come for him. Here's Harrison Bader. Big night for him. Fouled back in a good cut.
You're right about that.
Right on it.
Rex Hudler was telling me he met Harrison, got all excited. I said, well, he's got a little of you, but his is under control.
Sure Rex appreciated that.
Oh, Rex knows what I'm talking about. Tell Rex he ran the bases, tell somebody tagged him out. That's pretty true. Pretty true.
Back in the sixth inning on a 1-2 pitch. Bader, this home run. Carpenter has hit a home run tonight. Paul DeYoung as well. And Bader in the hole, 0-2. And he did go, so a strikeout of Harrison. A curveball by this right-hander, Adam.
It's his third strikeout. It's nasty. One thing about Harrison and Rex Hudler, they always hustle. And they always will support that guy.
There's Carpenter. 2-run homer back in the second inning. And ball one.
There's Hurricane Hudler. You know why he said he's one of my ball players when he saw that cut over his eye. Oh, he knows he's on television. Look at him.
You're saying that's false hustle over there?
That's
Al?
false hustle right there.
Here's a 1-0.
But he appreciated the fact that Harrison Bader got cut. And then he proceeded to tell me that, remember he tried to move the left field stands and ran his head into the left field stand trying to catch a ball? he got cut. He hit one of the bolts.
I remember him just diving on the turf.
Right. And Joe Torre said, "You got to come out of the game. You're bleeding." So he wanted to know why Harrison. He goes, "Did he come out of the game?" I go, "No, he's a man. He stayed in the game." And he was all upset about that. They made me come out.
Rex Hudler, longtime analyst now here in Kansas City. 2-1 pitch. Carpenter hits it down the right field line. Home run distance, but foul. You can see he was just ready for it, sitting on it. He'd love to have that one back.
Love to have it a little bit up over the middle of the plate.
2-2 the count. The strikeout of Carpenter. Rex Hudler, Mr. Hustle. Oh. Francisco Pena takes over for Yadier Molina behind the plate. Second inning for Daniel Ponce de Leon. Hunter Dozier at the plate. 7-0 our score here in game one in the bottom of the 8th. And the first pitch popped up. This will be Jerko under it to make the catch. And there's one away. Brings in Lucas Duda. So I guess one of the questions would be, are you going to extend Daniel Ponce de Leon for 3 innings, cover this game, and then think about what you want to do tomorrow and Sunday? You've got Flaherty going tomorrow, Weaver on Sunday. And again, Mike Schilt has been quick to get these young starters out.
But you also would have Dakota Hudson and Tyson Ross, 2 guys that have been stretched out to cover those innings too. So it's a good question. I could see him do it both ways or give an inning to somebody else down there. Tyler Webb probably hadn't thrown for a while. And
good changeup.
and look at the run and just continue to go away from the left-handed batter. Just
Fastball high at 95. Out of play. The 2-2. And a base hit. That was Jerko near it, the third baseman. They had a shift on the infield. And a one-out hit for Lucas Duda.
second hit of the game. Just muscles it over the infield.
And that is hit out to center. Bader on the move. Off the wall, barehands it quickly back into the infield. That'll be a double for Bonifacio. But even there, I mean, how quickly Bader gets the ball in and played it perfectly off the wall.
I was thinking the same thing, Danny. Here you are in a lopsided game, but you're still getting the effort. And as you said, that ball was just rocketed out to center field, and he got in perfect position to get the carom, barehands it, and comes firing back to his cutoff man. Dude might have thought it was a home run, and still, that's pretty impressive to keep the runner from scoring.
And that's back to Ponce de Leon and the out.
There's that hustle by Bader. Ponce has got a chance here to keep it, keep the shutout intact. I'm sure he's come to grips with already a line drive coming back at him. Now, it wasn't hit that hard, but still, remember, it was last year early in the season where a line drive hit him in the head and necessitated emergency brain surgery. He's in a coma for 3 weeks, laying in a hospital in Iowa.
Popped up. Pena, foul territory. Near the screen and the catch. Good work by Daniel Ponce de Leon with 2 scoreless innings. All right, guys, thank you. Brandon Maurer in to pitch for Kansas City, top of the 9th. Sal, it's a fireworks night, so a lot of the fans have stuck around here at the ballpark to take in fireworks.
Dan, if you'd like to split right after this Cardinal victory, I'll be more than happy to accommodate you right home.
It'd be nice. Very kind of you.
Of course, we already planned that. Remember Maurer from his days with San Diego. You can see his Hyundai pitch arsenal, fastball, slider, change, I think.
And a base hit for Pena.
Way to go.
Leadoff hit to start the 9th inning for St. Louis. Talked about just trying to keep any kind of timing together with limited playing time.
So now we get more salsa.
I think that you need to go down there tomorrow and try out the salsa. Come back, give me your report, your thoughts. Jose Martinez, the DH tonight for the Cardinals. 3 hits, couple of singles and a double.
Couple RBIs.
Two balls and no strikes. That pitch inside, so Maurer is allowed a base hit, now a walk. Tell you what, one guy that is never out of place, out of rhythm, and locked in with every pitch is our director, Tom Mead.
Absolutely.
And Tommy is
never taken a one pitch off in his entire career. Spans 50 years.
And a strike. You know, some guys will give away an at bat late. Not Tommy.
Not Tom.
And a high fly ball hit into right field, and Ozuna is still alive. Just the way he goes about his work doesn't, it doesn't matter if it's a 3-2 game here in the 9th or 7-0. Absolutely locked in. Runners at first and second. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Marcell Ozuna. And I know you've worked with Tom for many years, and you felt that way too.
Always, always. Been very lucky.
About Nolan Gorman, another home run tonight down in the minor leagues. Now 12 since he's been drafted. First home run in his 2nd game for Peoria.
That's the #1 draft choice for the Cardinals this year, and he was a high school kid. Noted as having very good power. But he's not having any problem going through into pro ball and going up the ladder.
Strikeout of Marcell Ozuna brings in DeYoung. By the way, the home run hit by Carpenter tonight, now 129 for his career. which ties him with Lou Brock, 16th all-time in Cardinals history.
Why does he keep on picking on Lou?
Passed him up with the leadoff homers.
Leadoff homers. Now on the home run total. I think Lou still might have. I think he may be tied on. First batter homers for the season, a season.
Strikeout of DeYoung. So back-to-back Ks. Budweiser plays of the game, and it's the offense of the Cardinals with 12 hits, 3 home runs. That includes Matt Carpenter's 32nd of the year.
Teammates facing each other here.
So Jed Jerko at the plate, runners at first and second. 97-mile-an-hour pitch. And it's 0-2. Jose Martinez, his 13th 3-hit game of the season. Fastball high.
This is a time where Jerko usually does come through with runners at scoring position.
And the 1-2. Got him. So Mauer allows the first 2 to reach, and then he strikes out the next 3. The I-70 series from Kauffman Stadium. Bottom of the ninth when we come back. Greg Garcia behind the plate, the emergency catcher of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, Ponce has a chance to pick up a major league save. This will be his 3rd inning of work. 2 shutout innings so far.
Ryan O'Hearn, the DH. And the 0-1 pitch to O'Hearn. Third inning for Daniel Ponce de Leon, 7-0 our score. 32 pitches thus far tonight. Seen Austin Gomber make the start, 5 innings. Shreve win an inning. And now Daniel Ponce de Leon. Two-one pitch. 3-1. On the air tomorrow at 5:30.
Got to throw strikes.
And a leadoff walk.
It's his third walk. He has allowed 2 hits. But so far, the Royals have not dented the plate.
So runner at first, they'll play behind him. And there's a ball. Back to the top of the lineup, Whit Merrifield. Popped out to first, fly to center twice, and also walked. 0 for 3. Cardinals have turned a double play tonight. That's outside. And it's 2-0.
Merrifield came in batting .300. He dropped a couple points.
Two and one. And a ground ball, could be 2. Out there, the turn by Wong. What a quick turn that was by Colton Wong.
Well, boy, nice feed from Jerko over to Wong, and Wong is so quick with those hands. You're talking about you throwing out the runner, the hitter Merrifield, who has 25 steals, so you know he can run a little bit. Didn't get out a real quick start out of the box, but the quick release. You saw O'Hearn was on top of Wong, but infielders don't have to worry about getting knocked into the outfield anymore. Still, that was nifty, getting that double play.
And now Herrera with 2 down. Curveball taken high.
That's the second double play they've turned behind Ponce de Leon.
Wong has got some of the quickest hands in the game.
He's turned into arguably the best second baseman in the National League.
Defensive metrics would tell you that too.
Yeah, they would say that almost twice. His plays that he's made out of zone are almost like twice as many as his next competitor.
And the 1-1. And the Royals down to their final strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cardinals trying to pick up game 1 here in the series and go to 6 games above the 500 mark. The 1-2 in the dirt. The 2-2 pitch struck him out. The Cardinals a 7-0 win. And St. Louis now 6 games above the 500 mark.
It's like they're having a lot of fun. Good offense, good pitching in this one to get the shutout. And defense. Even though they committed their first error in 10 games, they're still playing much better defense, much better all-around baseball by the Cardinals.